everyone, how are you today? I was cleaning through some stuff in my closet and I opened a bin that I had completely forgotten what was in it, and I found this. This is a dream journal and the first entry in it is dated 2003. So I thought it would be really funny to go through and read some highlights. And if you're wondering what the kids were dreaming about 20 years ago, look no further. I even still, on this ridiculous keychain here, have the key for this. This is why you can't throw anything out. Alright. So yes, this was my first page and it says Serena's Book of Dreams, because when I was a kid, me and my best friends called each other by names from the English dub of Sailor Moon. So yeah, been a nerd since kindergarten, at least. The first entry in here was, I just said cover page dated February 18th, 2003. It was really funny because I actually filled up the whole thing. And I set it up a very certain way, so I have what the dream is on one side, and then like key elements, colors, and what happened yesterday, which gives a lot of context. Here's one from, this is March 25th, 2003. The dream. Lived in a large open house. Mom and Dad's bedroom was beige. Two of them had Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Was looking at them in a book. She had Egyptian god cards. Couldn't believe it. So many of the first few are just about Yu-Gi-Oh. Then there's my what happened yesterday. Was looking at cards. Dad said, "Do you have an Egyptian god card?" Another thing he knew that we didn't know he knew. Here's another one. Was in our kitchen. Mom gave my sister and I Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This was okay. So this was about the time when the Battle City tournament arc was coming out. So we were really determined to find a Dark Magician Girl card, and my grandma was even buying up packs of them. That's what I have written here. We were looking through packs. So I was also dreaming about it. Alright, August 12th, 2003. Doing handstands and cartwheels on a special mat at Ariel's house. Went outside on the swings. Was practically swinging completely upside down. A Japanese family came. We went with them on a bus to Japan. The seats were weird and were U-shaped. Had to take our passport and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Next thing, me and my friend's dad were in a park. A guy was there called Kazuki. Tried talking to him in Japanese. Wasn't very good. Luckily, he could speak English. Got on the bus. The street seats were normal. Asked what his job was. He said he helped design Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This is especially funny because many years after this, I had a job in the student center at a university, and the job I had was at the recommendation of a Japanese professor. It was a tutoring job, and there was a guy on campus, and his name was Kazuki, and the woman who kind of like did my little introduction to the learning center introduced me to him because he was actually from Japan. And he was just really confused. And then I saw him like a couple weeks later when I was, filing my student reports, whatever. And I said hello to him, and he just about jumped out of his skin, and it was so awkward that I never tried talking to him ever again. But I had a dream about a Kazuki many years before that. I do not have any context for what happened before this. Alright, we've now entered 2004. This is January 7th, 04. At Ariel's house. It was 12 a.m. and we were watching Inuyasha. And then we were skydiving. Oh, goodness. Oh, I remember this one, actually. This one was really creaky. This is February 16th, 2004. Started off in phys ed class. At a very strong waterfall, we had to jump out and grab a bar above it. If you missed, you went down onto the rocks below. People were going missing. After a few of my classmates missed, I decided I had enough. I changed into Sailor Moon and rescued them. Okay, now this has a part 2. An American Girl doll started talking. She asked if she could kill people while I was at the waterfall. I told her no, and I found out she's one of those evil dolls and tore her into pieces. Threw the pieces into the snow at some camp. There was another doll and she was talking too. My cousin and I buried the doll pieces. We went to get lemons to protect the grave. When we came back, the doll had regenerated and I had to apologize to her. What happened yesterday? I saw my cousin, so that explains why she was in it. It does not explain anything else. Alright, December 19th, 2004. Was sitting in the computer lab with, and then I list a bunch of my friends. We were looking at Linkin Park websites. I was wondering if Linkin Park would come up. And sure enough, they did. What happened yesterday? I was playing video games and went to Borders with Danielle. Alright, we've entered 2005. There is more than one dream on this page here. A girl had taken my guitar pick necklace and was wearing it. I tried to say it was mine, but she insisted I take either the broken one. She practically strangled me, and another girl turned her in. She admitted it was mine, and I told her she could wear it. That was very nice of me after the attempted murder. My friends and I were the Sailor Scouts. We were in a stadium, and there was a person in the crowd wearing sunglasses and then hair exactly like Danielle's. They came down and transformed into a big, ugly monster, which we tried to fight. Later, he was in a seat and we were behind him. He was testing us with ping pong balls we had to hit. Danielle had a hangover. Oh, here's one. This is January 2nd, 2006. Was at school having a hard time with my locker when Mandy came by. She was mad at me. Apparently someone told her I liked the same person she liked. Before that, I was in English class. It was very boring. Then I had study hall with Mandy. I tried to tell her that it was a lie. Our other classmate was there and we tried to talk. We got that straightened out. I don't think there was ever an instance where Mandy and I had a crush on the same person. I don't think that ever happened. No context for that one, but Mandy was mad at me in that dream because I made a note of that. Mandy was really mad at me. Now here's January 21st, 2006. Was dressed goth. Me, Amy, and Mom. I think that's referring to my cousin. Went to the store, and the world was like a game. We walked through a tunnel with stores. It was very bright and reminded me of Candyland. There was a place for rent. In the grocery store, we decided to write a magazine and rent the place. Saw one of my classmates' moms. She was not happy to see us as goths. Part 2. I had to do a group project on something about animals. Was supposed to be in a group with Josh and Mike and another girl. I eventually just left and started working by myself. They didn't even miss me. March 24th, 2006. Was in a store. There were abandoned babies inside and outside on the sidewalk. A woman was trying to call the police. That's kind of interesting. What happened yesterday. Talked about abandoned children on the news. Here's a weird one. May 5th, 2006. It was dark outside our house, which was in the middle of nowhere. Dad was accusing these guys of beheading one of their own. I could see wispy white figures on horses, one riding up to the leader with a sword. Man said the beheaded figure was a spirit. Dad said there was a ghost who peered over the trenches near the side of our house that danced. Colleen watched it out the upstairs window. I was listening to my CD player. I unplugged the adapter and it kept playing. I checked for batteries and there were none. It wouldn't stop. That's spooky. I had another dream here about dressing goth and getting beat up by my cousin's ex-boyfriend. That was funny. May 17th, 2006. I dreamed that I went to a Green Day concert. It was a large auditorium and their stage decor was all black and white. I was then in the same auditorium and it had red curtains doing the talent show. Sarah and I decided to play Wake Me Up When September Ends by Green Day. Rachel was there playing an acoustic guitar and I had an electric guitar. Sarah sang but kept stopping or adding in verses about Josh, who was watching. At the end, Josh won. July 11th, 2006. Was in a room/alternate dimension with 2 other people. The only way out was to win a chess game, and draw a cannonball. I cheated and just drew a cannonball. Before that, thinking I would never leave, I was sitting on the couch in the room. One person was angry and did not want me to cheat. They were on the sofa as the other person, and I waited for the cannonball. It came, breaking a window. A woman came in, floating on a floating couch. We got on it to escape. August 21st, 2006. I was in the backyard, though it was very different from the real backyard, trying to mow the lawn. 2 of my classmates came up and gave me a box of shoes. They were a size 10, though they looked very small. One of them said I had to go somewhere, and I told him I didn't know him very well, and the lawnmower shut off. As much as Mom and I tried, we couldn't turn the lawnmower back on. Here's the last one. This was November 22nd, 2006. Boy dressed in black was killed. My friend and I tried to escape, and I cast a spell. We flew to a temple. There was since someone's wedding. Some animals escaped. They didn't go far, and we could still see the cult. I wrote "the cult" in quotes. Some people in boats were trying to get us. We couldn't gather our supplies. I cast a spell to cause a storm. An evil man made it to shore. We fought, and it began to rain. The man showed his true form, and then they left. That was it. Probably will date me a little bit here, considering the pop culture references and the dates that are in this. I do think it's interesting that as we went from 2003 to 2006, they stopped being as much, well, especially stopped being about Yu-Gi-Oh! Every night. But they stopped being as much about like media and anime and stuff on TV to being more about classmates and kind of actually relevant stuff that was going on in school and that I heard about. So, yeah, this was my dream journal circa 2003. I hope you enjoyed these highlights of 20-year-old dreams. Hopefully Colleen will edit this to make it a little more coherent. But yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.